With Ethereum rallying the way that it has done just on the rumors of an ETF, I think all eyes should not only be on Ethereum right now, but also layer 2s. In today's video, I'm going to be doing some technical analysis on some layer 2s that I think have significant potential for fantastic gains in the coming months. Guys, smash the like button. Let's see if we can get to 500 likes on today's video. If you're new, subscribe, and let's jump right down into it. Hi guys, welcome to the channel. Welcome back to another video. Today we are discussing a little bit on layer 2s, right? We've seen Ethereum have a significant surge to the upside. Now, I'm not going to go into the Ethereum analysis in today's video because we all kind of have a good idea that, we're going to see very similar things with Ethereum than we saw with Bitcoin. We're going to see some really fantastic gains. What I want to spend a little bit of time on today is talking about the power of layer 2s on Ethereum and other ecosystems, right? With layer 2s, specifically with Ethereum reacting to the spot ETF with additional volumes coming on in, we are going to see a significant surge in price of Ethereum, which means there's going to be a significant price increase on your Ethereum gas fees. This is going to then basically become a problem for dApps that are built on the Ethereum ecosystem, and they will look to migrate to layer 2 solutions for their users, right, to basically make their products more usable, more palatable. As a result of that, you're going to see the price action of layer 2s also dramatically increase in line with the Ethereum price explosion. So the first thing we need to discuss really is, what are those layer 2s? Well, I've spoken about these a fair number of times. We've seen things like Polygon's Matic most recently come down 54%, and I think this one has significant potential for some fantastic runs to the upside. I've been through this a couple of times, and I would be very surprised if we do not see, Polygon's Matic rallying up towards that kind of area of around $10, $12 or so. But let me show you the kind of bull target ranges for Matic, because it can kind of blow your mind quite a bit. If we were to see Polygon's Matic do a fraction of what it did before, then we are talking about hundreds of dollars, not thousands. I don't think those are things that we are likely to see. So I'm going to be really conservative and say that there's some really good targets here that I think are of reference. First of all, about $10 is a very interesting area. I do think we're going to see some interesting areas at around $10 for Polygon's Matic. But also, I think when we start getting into that $23 range and potentially even $77, anything in this area is going to be prime resistance. So just to kind of be aware, Polygon's Matic did some fantastic gains in the previous bull market of around 43,000%. If we were to do that again from our bear market low, we're talking about $300 Matic. I don't think that's going to happen, but I would be really quite impressed if we were to see something in around that kind of $23 to $42 range for Polygon's Matic, right? So just be really aware that I think Matic is one of those projects that has significant adoption already. It's going to be probably one of the main layer 2s on Ethereum, but it's already seen very significant gains in the previous bull market. So diminished gains is highly likely, but we'll still see very nice gains nonetheless. Most recently, we came down to 58 cents. So if you're not filling your bags there, there's still potential here, in my opinion, for a bit more accumulation ahead of layer 2s really starting to get some traction. But nonetheless, this one is one that I've been bagging up quite a bit recently. Next on the list will be Arbitrum. Arbitrum also has significant potential to the upside, in my opinion. Again, this came down 64.72% on the 13th of April, 2024. Right, we've seen significant reduction in price and great accumulative areas for Arbitrum. And I still see this one running very, very nicely. Now, obviously, there's less data here, so it's really hard to be overly too predictive on this one. But I'm still going to be targeting out somewhere between $2.80 and $3.72. If it exceeds those, that'd be absolutely fantastic as well, right? So another layer 2 that I think has significant potential to the upside. At the moment, it has some interesting structures appearing here, but still more room to the upside. We are lower than its 200-day exponential moving average, so still technically in bearish trends. So maybe there's another opportunity for more dollar cost averaging and accumulation on this one before it starts getting a run to the upside. Moving over to Optimism, another layer 2 for Ethereum here, we can see this one also has come down 63% again on the 13th of April. It's run quite nicely at the moment, is still fighting its EMAs, the 200, the 50, and of course the 50 SMA as well. Here we can see an interesting kind of structure, still looking for more room to the upside in the shorter time frames, and also some corrections here potentially still due. So it'll be interesting to see whether or not we can still get more accumulation of Optimism before the next run to the upside. Like Arbitrum, less data, so less predictive capabilities, but we are going to be targeting out $9.73 to $14.52 on OP to see whether or not it can achieve those targets. It does look very juicy, so this one looks like it has a lot of room to the upside, and potentially with the Ethereum spot ETFs, these numbers might just be, you know, absolutely blown out of the water. So one that I have been accumulating a lot recently is OP and Optimism. Moving on though, 𝗕𝗃 cannot be ignored either. 𝗕𝗃 has come down 66.74%, and it still looks like it has potential to slip even further to the downside. With that being said, though, most recently it has broken back above its 200-day exponential moving average and is showing a bit of a bullish breakout here. If this is the case, then we still have potential for some really fantastic gains here on Optimism. I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing this thing run up towards $440, maybe even $800 in the future. So accumulating down here seems like a pretty decent idea. Like I said, 66.74% down most recently on the 13th of April. So looking pretty juicy. Again, 𝗕𝗃, another layer 2. I think this one is going to perform very well. The tokenomics are very favorable for this one to perform well from a dollar value point of view. Number of X's can still be pretty significant. We have that potential somewhere between 5 and 10x on this one still. If you missed out on all those additional gains back from 2023. 𝗕𝗃 looking very, very juicy right now. Now, there are other layer 2s that we should probably talk about outside of the Ethereum network, because I think instead of just layer 2s on ETH performing well, I think there's going to be a whole narrative on layer 2s generally. And it's hard to ignore other layer 2s that I think are going to perform well. For example, we've seen Aurora perform phenomenally well. If we go ahead and take this onto our weekly time frame, you can see this explosive growth. A lot of people were kind of saying it's dead in the water, it's not going to do anything during the kind of bear market as we kind of got into late 2023. Then we saw explosive growth to the upside of over 1,463%. At the moment, since we had that high that was set up here at 73.5 cents, we've come down 75.51%, testing out and looking for support on its weekly 50 simple moving average. Looking at Aurora here, it's looking very good. It's still looking at the death cross on the daily time frame, still looking for a little bit more of a corrective action, but great accumulative areas as it's now kind of bordering 20 cents. It is an area that I think we are likely to see significant surge to the upside. This is, of course, a 3-wave correction, and it is just looking to complete this out now. So a little bit deeper potentially here. Minimum expectations have already been met, and this one has significant potential to the upside, in my opinion. Previous all-time highs were up at 150. Let me actually go get the exact number on that, 150.1, and I see this thing potentially rallying significantly further. So let me show you where I think this one can go. Bearing in mind we were accumulating this back down when it was 5 cents. If we have bottomed out most recently, we're talking about $2.74 to about $5.21. This one has significant potential, but be aware that this is a near protocol layer 2. So in order for this to perform well, near also has to perform well as well. So there's a lot of different kind of layer 2 solutions out there. I have definitely been accumulating more on the Ethereum side, but I don't want to ignore layer 2s for other ecosystems, as they do show significant promise for some fantastic gains in the coming months as well. If you haven't done so already, smash that like button. If you're new, subscribe. And if you haven't checked this video out, what are you doing? What are you waiting for? Go ahead, click this one and check out what's going on in the crypto space.